What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Zandora gameplay, and today we're going to talk about the stamina issue in Gigantic. So let's head over and let's talk about it. So before we get started on this video, I know that there's going to be a ton of people that are not going to agree with this. I know that there's going to be a ton of people that are going to leave comments or could potentially leave comments like, you haven't played the game that long, you know, this was something that, you know, was a legacy feature, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. This is my feelings. This is my opinions of Gigantic and things that could actually be done to make the game better overall. So I'm going to lay those opinions out here, and if you agree with them, then that's great. But if you don't agree with them, then that's fine as well. This is just my opinions and my thought process behind, you know, the stamina system within Gigantic. So for a definition of stamina, it is a resource used for movement such as sprinting, jumping, and dodging. Without stamina, your character will be unable to move quickly across the map, dodge deadly enemy skills, chase down a fleeing target, or escape to safety. Learning how to manage stamina and move smoothly is a key component of the game. Okay, and I wanted to kind of throw on the heels of this the status effects that are in the game. Of course, you have three major, you have buffs, debuffs, and disruptions. So we're going to go down here. Okay, you do get speed boost, right? And speed boost provides a plus X% bonus to movement speed, which affects both walking and sprinting. But then whenever you start looking at debuffs, you have freeze, applies negative 25% movement speed, and applies X damage for 3 seconds whenever you are frozen. You have hard landing, which prevents jumping and sprinting, can be canceled by dodging or performing an attack. Slow, major slow, applies a negative 25% or a negative 50% movement speed penalty. Cripple applies a negative 40% movement speed penalty. Cripple applies a negative 40% movement speed and prevents sprinting. Immobilize interrupts and locks the target in place, preventing all movement, including walk, sprint, jump, and dodge. Attacks and abilities are still usable. Stun interrupts and prevents the target from performing any action, including movement. Daze interrupts and prevents the use of skills, but allows movement. Disable prevents target from performing any action or changing health. So whenever you look at just like the buffs, debuffs, and disruptions, you have one thing that actually boosts your movement speed, right? You get a speed boost. Whenever you look at the things that that cripple your movement, that stop your movement, you've got freeze, you got hard landing, slow / major slow, cripple, immobilize, stun, daze to an extent. I don't know if you can sprint while you're dazed, and disable. So you have like 18 different things that disrupts your movement, or at least slows you down whenever you are trying to move. Yet there's nothing that affects your stamina, right? Which is weird to me, because if stamina is going to be a feature within the game, and it is a feature within the game, and it's been a feature within the game for years at this point, from the first iteration to the game up until the current iteration of the game, but there's no status effects that mess with your stamina, right? But also, there's a lot of characters and a lot of abilities and things that do not grant you increased stamina or give you some type of stamina boost or some type of way of regaining your stamina naturally or with the use of an ability. Now there are, you know, characters that do, but that stamina increase or that stamina boost is almost negligent to the amount of CC that is currently in the game. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about here. The stamina issue is an issue in the game, but is it more a stamina issue or is it more a CC issue, right? Because there's so many things that affect your movement speed. And to me, if you're going to be slowed, if you're going to have some type of a slow, you know, major slow, minor slow, cripple, immobilize, all these kind of things, then there's nothing that breaks that, right? You have your dodge where you can dodge these things and try to stop it from affecting you. But the dodge consumes more stamina than anything else, more than sprinting, more than jumping. So you can do that, but you're going to eat up a good portion of your stamina to try to stop that from happening. So you're at a lose-lose scenario there. You want to dodge to stop this thing from hitting you, but by doing the dodge, you're also consuming a large portion of your stamina. which is going to stop you from being able to get out of a situation that you're in. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to argue, well, you know, the game is all about positioning and team fights and focusing and all that stuff. And I agree with that 100%. I agree that if stamina is a legacy thing in the game, it should continue to be a legacy thing in the game. But there's nothing that happens that reduces your stamina other than you physically using it, whereas a slow / major slow should not give a movement speed penalty. It should just reduce the stamina that you have, right? And if you are at a low stamina threshold, then it just doesn't do anything, right? Because there's a lot of times where you get hit with multiple slows, multiple cripples, multiple dazes, stuns, all this kind of stuff hits you all at one time, and you may have stamina, but you can't do anything about it because you're stuck in this moveless scenario. Now, if you have something that, you know, purifies, that removes all the status effects, and then you're able to actually use the stamina, then that's cool. But how many characters have a purify ability that has something that can, you know, remove these status effects from you? There's not a lot of them in the game that do, you know, and that is a huge issue in my opinion. So I think that it would be a better scenario or a better situation if, like, freeze should not only, you know, apply X amount of damage for 3 seconds, but it should, you know, while the characters are in, you know, the frozen areas or the areas that can freeze you, it should apply, you know, a leeching effect to the stamina along with the HP. If the HP and the stamina are going to be tied to, you know, your out of combat regeneration stuff, then a lot of the other things in the game that does the same thing to your HP that reduces it should also do a lot of the same things to your stamina. And to me, that would make the game a little bit better because you wouldn't be constantly locked into place during a point fight or a team fight to the point where you're just getting soloed out at that point. I think that if they made some type of change, or at least looked at how the system interacted with some of the other systems in the game, that it could make for a more interesting and a more fun experience, at least in my opinion overall. That's what I think. There's a lot of CC, there's a lot of disruptions, there's a lot of debuffs, there's a lot of stuff that's happening. There's a lot of characters that can do a lot of these things. And once you start stacking characters that can, like, stack slows and cripples and immobilizations and dazes and stuns and disables and all this other stuff, then it's just not a fun experience overall. And the stamina issue with that is, like, you go in, you try to have these fights, you're jumping, which consumes stamina, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, right? Because you have a lot of characters, especially melee characters, that have attacks that they can perform only when they're jumping. Why are you going to have those, you know, those characters be punished for using something that you put into the game? That to me is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that jumping should consume stamina at all. I think that, you know, whenever they brought this game over into the modern era, you know, and released it on the newer consoles and things like that, you know, the game holds up visually. The game holds up in terms of, like, the game modes and the actual, like, flow of the game and things like that. But there's some of these legacy systems that just don't hold up quite as well. And I know that these add extra layers to the game and, you know, extra enjoyment to the game for a lot of people, but also, like, it's no fun whenever you're playing against a very toxic team that is just stacking hard disrupts and hard debuffs, and you're just constantly getting just taken down over and over and over again because of issues like this. At least that's been my experience with it. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts of the stamina issue within Gigantic, and also the debuff and disruption, which is basically CC issue? Do you think that something needs to be done about it? Do you think that it's fine the way that it is? Do you agree with the points that I'm trying to make, or do you fully disagree? You know, I posted this over in the Discord, and there's a lot of people that disagreed with it, but these are a lot of legacy players, right? A lot of players that had hours and hours and hours and hours in the game before that it released this last time, and they're used to it. Now, sure, you can get used to it, but I still think that it is a overall negative to the enjoyment of the game, the way the stamina system works in relation to how the debuffs and the CC and all that stuff works. I think that is a huge negative. I think that it takes away from player enjoyment, honestly. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays and also on Sundays, I will be streaming here on YouTube, so if you are interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
We gotta keep him off of E. Well, this is a game where there's not a lot of talking going on, but we gotta keep him off of E. I'm dead on.
I die so fast. I can't do anything.
They're collecting it right now.
Watch it. One of them was gonna go to the other one now. I'll pick up the slack. We got it. We got it. Fuck. Oh, there's snipers back here. Deleted.
Oh, this bitch.
Yep.
Alright, we got a decent amount of damage on it.
See, I immediately, as soon as I go to get out, die. The whole fucking team died. Like, we did an invasion just to die. We did an invasion.
The fucking floating bitch that are purple shit.
Locked us down, dude.
Yeah, stunned us all.
I'm dead. Oh, I'm gonna get out right
they're over
now.
here trying to get near D. Yeah. Lighten it up.
You're really gonna fucking solo ult me again, you fucking whore?
Ow.
Trying to peg it. Got that sniper down to like less than half back there. They steal that?
We did.
Oh.
Well, I'm
They're
just gonna
pushing.
focus on grabbing E. As long as nobody
Whoever
dies,
say-
then we'll be 10 ahead. And we can just point fight to retake.
Oh, I'm on.
Bitch. Alright, I'm gonna go for C. I don't know if I'll be able to get over there in time to fucking stall them out. Where you going, bull
No!
dick?
Please don't tell me that count as my ult. Because I literally got killed as...
It counts.
It did. No, it didn't. Oh, thank God. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Dude.
she's almost dead, dude.
And they're rampaging. God
Yes.
damn it! I'm dead.
They're coming on this right side. They're one to the middle. They're gonna fucking get it.
Wow, that was fast. They just like... He had more than half his health.
All right, we're under half.
Game's tough.
Well, it's just you got to think of the people that played it before. Now they're back.